Introducing Mario.
Well, business just picked up here in Las Vegas. July 19th, you'll see the WBC welterweight champion, Mario Barrios, and the 8th Division 11 legend, Manny Pacquiao. Manny, long layoff. You could have come back probably against anybody. Why pick out the champion in the division to make this historic return?
In part 1, we looked at how Manny Pacquiao could get it done. But now, let's flip the script. Pacquiao's experience is undeniable, but Barrios has youth, size, and hunger. Here is how Mario Barrios can beat Manny Pacquiao, the legend. Let's hear what the legends have to say.
Who became the world champion, one of the greatest fighters in history. So age takes a toll. I mean, Manny actually walked in when I was working out in the ring. And I said, let me tell you something. Age really has nothing to do with this. And I'm 82, so, I think you train hard, you're working hard, you've got the skills, but, let's be realistic. It's a split-second sport, right? That's
You nearly hit.
nearly. That's why I said nearly.
So you still good.
Like he's fighting a 30-year-old. What do you think? What would that be like, running with a motor like that?
You know what, man? It's all up here. It's here. It's what you got. It's what you use. Again, there is no way to answer this, but stay healthy.
You can feel the respect fighters have for Pacquiao, but even legends have their limits. Barrios is younger, fresher, and active, but is that enough to overcome decades of elite experience? Here's what Robert Garcia and Teddy Atlas had to say.
Well, Pacquiao's a big name, and obviously Barrios a great fight for Barrios because he's a champion, and I think Pacquiao, being that they both have connections with PBC, that's the easiest fight to make. So, they're getting another title opportunity. I just the name obviously, but I really believe that Pacquiao shouldn't be fighting. I think it's actually going to be a little. I don't want to say sad because he's going to make a lot of money, so we can't feel sorry for him. But at 46, almost 47, it's almost impossible for. I'm just 4 years, 3-4 years older than him, and it's not easy to try to think you're going to get in shape and be able to perform like the way you were, when you were in your 20s and 30s.
It's tough, really, really tough. After listening to Robert Garcia, you really want to see Manny Pacquiao retired with his legacy intact. But if he looks sharp in training and still loves the game, who are we to say no to Manny Pacquiao? Who are we to say he shouldn't give it one more go? But before we dive into our final prediction, let's hear what Teddy Atlas have to say.
But look, I love Pacquiao. One of my favorite people, one of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I put it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up. Incredible. Just incredible. But now, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active, who I know you can't go by this guy beat this guy, but he could beat that guy, but he could beat this guy. But you can't go by that in my business, in this business, because styles make fights. But you're right. He beat Ugas. You could say Ugas was a little older than when he fought him a little bit than when Pacquiao fought him. Maybe that made a difference, whatever. But he did take a lot of punishment, Pacquiao, in the Ugas fight.
Well, in my opinion, that's real. Sometimes it's not about picking size. It's about respecting greatness. And Manny Pacquiao earned that respect 10 times over. Now, let's see what Abel Sanchez's opinion is.
The picks are heating up and the opinions are splitting. Let's keep it going.
He's older. He's been out of the ring. He's fighting I'm not going to say a young champion, but he's fighting a very decent champion. Probably the lesser of the three of the welterweight champions. but he is getting up in age. Will he be able to recapture some of that speed and snap to his punches? Who knows? But George Foreman did it at a much, much later age. So Manny has a chance. I think that he has a chance against a good champion.
It's crazy how Ebert Sanchez still believes in Manny Pacquiao's speed and rhythm. He may be older, but his style never relied just on youth. It's the angle and the volume that still make him dangerous. Now let's flip the script. Here is how Mario Barrios can actually beat Manny Pacquiao.
And here's how Mario Barrios turned the tables and beat the legend Manny Pacquiao, using smart skills, sharp ring IQ, and ring generalship built for the new era. Barrios didn't fall for the Pacquiao pressure. He used a stiff jab and long-range combos to keep the older legend at bay. Every time Pac tried to blitz in, Barrios fired sharp counters, especially that timed check hook. He mixed levels beautifully. Head-body-head combos disrupted Manny's rhythm, and Barrios' timing slowly started to take over as the rounds went on. This win was as mental as it was physical. Barrios didn't try to match Pacquiao's speed. He neutralized it. He circled away from Pac's left hand and controlled distance using smart footwork and angles. He made Manny work for everything, feinting often, using clinches when needed, and refusing to fall into traps. He kept his composure and followed the plan. Barrios dictated the geography of the fight. He kept Pacquiao on the outside, forcing him to chase, not lead. Anytime Pacquiao wanted to push the tempo, Barrios slowed it with well-placed body shots or tied him up inside. He fought like a mature, composed boxer, never panicked, never reckless. That's ring generalship at its finest.
Feel about Manny Pacquiao?
No, I
as a
love
fighter
Manny and I'm
overall?
glad Manny going in too. I'm not saying that Manny is not
Right.
capable. Manny is one of the dudes that I think definitely deserves to be in. Manny always has been and always will be one of my favorites because of the way he fights. I mean, a guy to come back after being knocked out in 2 of his first 3 fights, then come back and do all the things that Manny did, that story is also just as awesome as Vinny Pazienza's story. You feel me? I mean, come on. Most guys can't bounce back from a knockout period. He got knocked out early in his career twice and came back and did all this.
You can feel the respect fighters have for Pacquiao, but even legends have their limits. The picks are heating up.
So, after listening to Roy Jones and his campsite, you can feel the love. Whether they pick Manny or not, fighters know what he's giving to the sport. And honestly, sometimes that kind of respect says more than a pick. And to me, that's a fair take. Pacquiao is a legend, and sometimes legends stick around longer than they should. But let us not forget, this guy still has tools that can trouble anyone at 147 pounds. But we have to listen to what Timothy Bradley have to say about the upcoming bout between Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios.
World title fight.
Well, obviously, definitely has to do with money. 1, 2. I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits.
The experts are split, but now it's your turn. Who wins? The legendary Manny Pacquiao or the surging Mario Barrios? Drop your pick in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more fight predictions, breakdowns, and real talk from inside the ring.